Welcome to Riks Europe. I'm Scarlett Karoleva and I'm accompanied today by Gheorghe Piperea, member of the European Parliament for Hour. And we're going to talk today about a woman who seems to have more lives than a cat, because Ursula von der Leyen survived not just one but two motions of no confidence yesterday during the Strasbourg plenary session. And this comes after she already was facing another motion of no confidence only 3 months ago. This time things were different. Not only did the right want to see her gone, but so did the left. And by a miracle, she survived. Gheorghe Piperea, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Let's dive right into it. First and foremost, you mentioned on your X account earlier on that you were not surprised, but one will wonder, how is this even possible?
That situation, which is somehow outrageous, of having two motion of censors coming from far right and the conservative of the patriots. And the problem is that in this group of the far left, and also in the patriots, the conservative from the patriots, there are French parties which are the most important one. I'm speaking about the party of Mr. Mélenchon, La France Insoumise, and I'm speaking about the party of Madame Le Pen and Jordan Bardella, Rassemblement National.
Yes.
And maintenant, in the French parliament now, there is a big fight against Macron, carried by both the most important forces, political forces, La France Insoumise and Rassemblement National. But the way of the understanding of this fight against Macron, it's completely different. And also it's a kind of big scandal between the two French parties. And this is why we didn't have the chance to have all the votes of the patriots for the motion of the left, and the opposite. We didn't have the chance to have all the votes of the left for the motion of the patriots. So it was a mistake of strategy, starting from these two parties, two groups. I'm speaking about the patriots and the left. Complete and outrageous mistake of strategy. This is why I was not surprised about the result, because I knew that there is no understanding, there is no compromise negotiation between the two groups, because they are completely opposites. And I know this because I spoke with somebody from Cinque Stelle, which was, like me, worried about the result of this motion. And I knew that there is no negotiation between the two groups. And this is why Madame von der Leyen now benefits from this, and practically it's more than happy to see that she got more votes than at my motion, more with something like 25 votes. This is the situation, but if I were Madame von der Leyen, happily I'm not, and if I were people around Madame von der Leyen, happily I'm not, I would be worried, very much worried. Why? Because first of all, as you could imagine, there is always possible, starting from now, another motion of censure. Practically every 2 months we can have a motion of censure, because the need for the signature is only 72 MEPs. And I am 100% that we will have another motion of censure registered in December this year. Second, I don't think that Madame von der Leyen is now relying on a majority of a very, very consolidated majority. People from SND and people from EPP voted for her just because there is no other solution. Voting for those two motions meant for EPP to vote with the far left, and voting for this motion for SND was to vote for the so-called far right. So there was no solution then to vote for Madame von der Leyen. But both EPP group and SND group are very, very angry. They are furious against Madame von der Leyen for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. And third, and this is the most important, you know, until this moment, I'm speaking about this week, exactly this week, Ursula von der Leyen had the chance to give the guilt for everything bad is happening with the European Union on Putin, on the friends of Putin, on the Russians. Even yesterday, we had a resolution about the Russian drones, and it was something, made in order to resolve all the other problems of Madame von der Leyen, blaming the Russian for those drones. Of course, Russia is an aggressive country. Of course, Russia is the one starting the war. Of course, Russia is the one which is continuing the war. We know this. All of this are bothered and are worried about this. But the problem for Madame von der Leyen is that starting from this week, there is no more possibility to blame Putin for her mistake. And starting from the next week, Madame von der Leyen will be liable the target for all of these concerns and all of
Yeah,
these
I wanted to
problems.
ask you about that because you did say that indeed in a statement that, that from now on people will stop blaming only Putin, the usual suspect, and that blame will shift to Madame von der Leyen. So what do you mean with that? Why do you think now that people will not only just blame Putin but von der Leyen?
Yeah, people already seen that Madame von der Leyen has been mistaken with Green Deal, and I'm speaking about APP. Madame von der Leyen lied to the SNDs when she said, vote for me because I will not touch the European social funds. And now SND discovered that this European social fund does not exist anymore in a multi-annual framework budget. And people from the Green sees now the fact that Madame von der Leyen promised all things in the world in order to make the planet greener and cleaner. And now she's backing up all the critics of the European popular and conservatives. Because this Green Deal is bankrupting Europe. So, Madame von der Leyen succeeded to make people to be angry on her and furious on her for all reasons in the world. And from the other point of view, I'm speaking about from the geopolitical point of view, Madame von der Leyen is not credible anymore for United States administration, Trump administration, for China, for India, for Mercosur countries, South American countries, because, even this Mercosur agreement is now not easy to be signed and concluded because not only patriots, but also the left and also EPP are against Mercosur agreement. You know why? Because farmers all over the Europe, and especially from France and from Italy, are against this Mercosur agreement.
Yeah.
So people also discovered the fact that in order to protect more minor online against bullying, against abuse, against pedophilia online, which is, a very, very rational and very important motivation to who is irrational to say that we cannot, we don't have to protect minor online. Now, Ursula von der Leyen is preparing to deliver to the population, to the 460 million people in the European Union, a regulation which will transform all of us in suspect of abuse of internet, and we will probably become more interested in getting offline than being online.
Yeah.
And it's about also the digital identification. It's about also digital euro. All of these four reasons will become reasons to be angry on Ursula von der Leyen, because people discover that this is not Putin. This is nothing about Putin and Russia. All of this is about Ursula von der Leyen and her administration.
Well, you said a lot of things that were interesting. First and foremost, of course, it's very obvious that not even her own party, the EPP, nor the left nor the right is happy with her. Everyone is having, on their perspective, issues with one of her policies. At the same time, what will the future hold for her? Okay, she survived three motions of censure, as you call it. You say that it's possible to have those every 2 months. But I mean, she already survived three of them. How can we have faith that she will not survive a fourth one? Because what it looks like is that this woman is untouchable, and I'm sure that inside of her head, this is what she thinks as well. Hey, look, the court demanded me to publicize my messages. Well, guess what? I'm not doing it. In the meantime, again, she's deleting messages that she sent with Macron over the Mercosur deal. Still, there's no transparency on that, and as you said, she wants to be able to read all of our messages, and she gets away with it. This woman must think like I am untouchable. So, what will the future hold for her?
It's not untouchable and is not invincible. First of all, not only in Pfizergate, she continued to refuse to show to the people those SMS with Burla from Pfizer. Not only this, but
Yeah.
now there is another huge issue. It's about messages on Signal carried with Macron about Mercosur. And what do we know? What to say in this situation? Because it's insulting our intelligence. She said that those messages were disappeared because of the automatic setting of Signal.
Yeah.
So this is practically a new reason, a new motivation for a new motion of censure. But if you are interested in ways of getting rid of Madame von der Leyen, I'm gonna say this to you. First of all, I would not start motion of no-confidence unless I would have 200, at least 200 signatures, and this has to become from individual MEPs, and the motivation should be common to all of the MEPs. And this problem with the lack of transparency and the insult of the intelligence of MEPs, it's about the SMEs. I'm speaking about SMEs. This reason would be a common reason. Second, I am sure that these people will try to modify the treaties in order to make the motion of non-confidence heavier. And this means that they will be considered as being, first of all, afraid of the MEPs, second, totalitarian. You don't modify the rules of the games during the game. And I think that instead of submitting every 2 months a motion of censure, we should probably try to convince people to ask von der Leyen to leave, to resign. Madame von der Leyen has a lot of money to invest in her image. Eurostat, for example, published so-called sondage. Sondage in French, I don't know the name in English now for the moment. A survey or something like this,
Yes,
saying that
survey.
people are very content about her activity, and it's false. This is completely
Yeah.
false. If you ask real people, if you ask social network, you're gonna see that more than 65% of the population of the European Union is against Ursula von der Leyen, her administration, her kind of politics. So MEPs should listen to the people and should ask repeatedly to Madame von der Leyen to resign, because otherwise European Union will go to the wall. Will go to the wall, and the crash will be absolutely disastrous.
But yeah, if von der Leyen wanted to resign and if she would have wanted to maintain her dignity and self-respect, she would have resigned a long time ago. But I don't think von der Leyen looks at her own deeds the way that we do. And especially now that she has survived 3 motions of no confidence, there is no incentive for her to resign, because she has been proven that she can do as she pleases and rule as unelected queen, and yet she gets away with it. So how long do you think von der Leyen will stay in office? Do you think there's a realistic chance that she will actually be able to finish her 5-year term?
I agree. I have to accept that von der Leyen now seems to be much stronger than in July.
Yeah.
In July, she was very affected about the fact that there were only 50% of the MEPs voting for her and against my motion. Now she seems to be much more stronger and consolidated, but I don't think so. I repeat, her position is weakened about a series of at least 4 events and politics done by her, and which has nothing to do with the war of Putin and with Putin and the so-called friend of Putin. And MEPs and also people from the European councils were elected by people. We were elected. All of us were elected.
Yeah.
We cannot continue, and I'm not speaking about me, EPP MEPs, SND's MEPs, they cannot continue to ignore the position of their electors, of their voters. They cannot ignore anymore. And second, look what happened with Czech Republic. They would have another kind of government there. Mr. Babiš is completely against the war, is completely against Ursula von der Leyen. And now we will have in the council at least 3 leaders, European leaders. I'm speaking about Orban, Fico, and now Babiš, which will be, of course, against Madame von der Leyen. And a lot of decision of Madame von der Leyen will be probably blocked by those 3 peoples. Those 3 people, I'm sorry, person. And the most important of all is what happened now, right now, in France. If Mr. Macron will fall, I am absolutely sure that the life as president of the European Union of Madame von der Leyen will be shortened than you expected. And this is why I'm sure that in 6 months the situation will be completely different for von der Leyen and for her people, her Praetorian Guard, again, which are at the moment around her, protecting her. But the Praetorian Guard is a problem for the emperor. It's a problem because the very moment another emperor will rise, the old one will be killed. Will be killed metaphorically, of course. Yeah. Anyway, I think that Mr. Macron transformed France in a tool, in an instrument of Madame von der Leyen for her politics. And people from France do not agree with this idea anymore. You know, Mr. Macron made people to believe that French people are very, very globalist, very internationalist, very progressive. But people from France are not like this. People from France are probably the most nationalist people in Europe. They are much more nationalist than Romanians. And they started to see, look, Madame von der Leyen already stopped history of 50 years of development of the French agriculture. Jordan Bardella said that now, in 2025, in 50 years, is the first years when the balance of the agriculture, French agriculture, is negative. And second, the multinational framework for 2028-2034 will reduce with something like 20% the money for agriculture, and especially for the French agriculture, because the French agriculture is the most important user of these European funds. And people from France will not accept this anymore. Things will be changed until Christmas, I'm sure of this.
Well, let's hope for the best. It seems that the house of cards is falling in Brussels for von der Leyen. Mr. Piperea, vreau să vă mulțumim frumos pentru timpul și pentru exploratore. Thank you so much. And of course, thank you so much at home for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Goodbye.